What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with a spicy.
One.
I don't know how that's spicy. That's more gruff, like McGruff dog.
Well, I was holding my neck, meaning like it was spicy, like I had some spicy ramen and
Like
it went down.
Slanesh likes a spicy, and like you were choking yourself, and asphyxiation, and
Is that Slanesh or is it Nurgle because you're choking?
no, that's Slanesh because people have a kink for that.
Well, yeah, but like just because you have a kink for it doesn't like people have a kink for getting hit, but like
For the greater.
this is a video series where we answer the question left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get those questions first. And if you enjoy our content, if you like listening to us babble about 40K
And
kinks, yes, share this with your friends or support us here with a super thanks. If you give us a super thanks, you can ask a question, and we will create a video for you next week answering that question. And if it's about kinks, it's about kinks. What can we do? This question comes from MusicaPlayer. Why are Space Marines called Astartes?
It's a very simple question that could be convoluted because in the lore, you have a lot of different instances of who created the Space Marines. Was it the Emperor? Was it Belisarius Cawl? Was it a bunch of perpetuals? And at the end of the day, it was a scientist by the name of Amar Astartes. So the Emperor did help, obviously, and that's why they're called Astartes, after Amar Astartes.
Yeah, simple question, or simple answer to a simple question.
Yeah.
We also have shorts, so if you're not familiar, I think there's a tab now on the YouTube app or the YouTube channel where you can just get a bunch of these like quick little answers, and I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, thank you for that quick little answer. On to the next.
The next one comes from the big one. Sometimes I think it would be cool to come back as a tiger, because then I could eat people and I'd have stripes to cover up my stretch marks. If you guys could be an animal, what animal would you be? Okay. Let's pick a 40K animal and make this like 40K related.
40K related, yeah.
The big one, great questions all the time, but 40K.
Easily, it would have to be a Grox.
Yeah.
just because.
Yeah, Grox are basically like lizard cows.
Yeah. You milk them, you use them for meat, you could farm them. They got tough hide, you could ride them.
Yeah, agri-worlds are usually like, that's their main, what would it call, livestock, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of Grox, I forget which Star Wars movie it is, which episode it is, but you see a stormtrooper riding on like this salamander lizard-like thing, and I always think that's probably what a Grox would be.
Oh, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, not the one that he's like fighting Grievous. And
where like it's like a lizard, it's like walking on...
It looks almost like a Komodo dragon, just fatter and like bigger.
Ah, okay. Yeah, like the early ones. Right?
I think so, yeah.
Good question. Well, I guess I haven't given my answer.
Yeah.
A Fenrisian wolf, only because I couldn't think of anything
That's
else.
a really good one.
Yeah, Fenrisian wolves are pretty cool because they're not like, they're special.
They're like wolves, but big and tough.
Super big, yeah.
Big enough that Space Marines can ride them.
Yeah. And they're loyal to their rider, so I think that's kind of cool. And they're sentient, so they're like more intelligent than like a regular wolf or a regular dog. They're even sometimes smarter than the tribesmen.
Yeah.
Good question. Next one.
Young Who 87 asks, do you guys think that the old ones should return, or should they always remain a mystery?
In my personal opinion, just like I think Sanguinius should stay dead, we should stick to the loyalty of the lore and just keep them a mystery, so that if we created fan Primarchs, they stay fan Primarchs.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see them and how they play out, but I feel like they step too much on the tiptoes of the Eldar, which lore has it that the old ones created the Eldar. So it's like they're psychic powerful beings, the Eldar are psychic powerful beings. The Eldar are elves, where like the old ones are rumored to be like the Slann from Age of Sigmar. If you wanted to, you could just use those same models and play them as old ones. Maybe using Eldar rules, and there you have it.
Yeah. But yeah. Next one.
This one is by Ski Eye Drake. I saw a fan theory that perhaps Angron could free himself from Khorne and become lucid. I'd like to think that the untethered Angron would join sides with the Tau. Perhaps maybe Farsight. Does this make sense?
I don't see any connection between the Tau and Angron.
Angron, yeah. I don't know how that would make sense. Also, we've never seen a follower of a chaos god be able to separate from that god and still be alive.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think Korn would want one of his greatest assets to just be gone like that.
Yeah, remember that Horus was dedicated himself to all 4 chaos gods, and the way that the Emperor knew, the only way he knew to get rid of him is to just basically obliterate his soul.
Not just kill him, obliterate that soul.
Obliterate.
Summon Exodia with all the 5 pieces and obliterate.
Make me cry.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Unfind. What does the average imperial citizen know about the Horus heresy? They know that the Emperor was confined to the Golden Throne, but why do they think that happened? It depends on the planet. It depends on the Adeptus Administratum, I think it is, or Ministorum. Because here in our world, there's a separation between, I think, like learning and religion to a certain extent. Like,
to an extent, yes.
Yeah. So, just like, or then in 40K universe, it seems like that line is blurred.
Yeah, you have like the Schola Progenia, which is basically like Sunday school, but with the military also integrated into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no separation of like state and church. Usually in the 40K universe, you'll have like a whole world be like a shrine world or a maiden world.
Yeah.
Then you have like another recruitment world, but even then you're still taught about like the imperial truth and stuff like that.
And also, like, you got to think of it like if we look at a totalitarian regime here, not totalitarian, like a totalitarian regime here, like so North Korea, it seems like from what we get on TV and stuff, that the story of like of the creation of that basically, what's his name, Kim Jong-un, yeah, or his dad or his granddad, whatever it was. He fought the evil Americans or the evil West. They never actually define it. So I think the same would be for the Imperium, where like the Emperor fought the evil doers. They never say Angron. They never say Mortarion. They never say like the actual Primarchs. And they never paint the Emperor in any type of flaw. It was more like Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And I think most Christians believe that, right? Christ himself was not, I don't know, like a bad person. He was man.
Right. But men are flawed.
So maybe the same way that we don't know shit about Jesus, imperial citizens don't know shit about the emperor.
Yeah,
they just know.
Yeah, they're using it as a means to control the populace.
Yeah. They just know he's on the throne. And even then, I don't think that's true.
Right. It's like, why do I have to toil for this planetary governor and give, 23 hours of my day, everything to him? Well, because the emperor wills it.
Yep.
Your soul will be joining the army of the light.
Right. Next one comes from Pipes. With the warp being fluid in time, has Chaos Sorcerers or Dark Mechanicus ever tried to go back in time to enslave or destroy the Emperor in his early life?
Oh, for sure. Time travel in 40K happens almost on the daily.
However, I don't know, because like the whole thing is that the Imperium does not understand how to use time travel properly. They created an entire Ordo for it, the Ordo Cronus, and it disappeared. And when you look at how humanity and other Xenos manipulate manipulate the warp, they understand it to a certain extent, but at the same time, they don't. And I think time travel is one of those things that even if it was a Chaos Sorcerer, even if it was like some type of Xenos that somehow like tried to understand the warp, they wouldn't go back to kill the Emperor. Proper, like it would be a mistake kind of thing. Yeah. It would be cool. It's a cool story because then the Emperor wins because obviously he's here.
Yeah.
And then that brings us to like the idea of how time travel works in 40K, which is similar to Harry Potter.
Right. Where it's like it was always destined to happen.
Yeah. And you can't really like deviate from that line or that loop. And it just stays consistent. That way there isn't like multiple universes or anything like that.
Right.
And there was something else about your question that made me remember something else. Oh, and or proof of that is that if you look at a chaos ship with a chaos navigator, a chaos, what are they called? Astropath, they still struggle to go through the warp as much as like an imperial ship. It's not like because you're chaos, the chaos gods are like, oh, I got you, bro. Like, pass by with no worries. No,
Yeah.
demons are still attacking. It's still chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Death of Hope. The short or the movie by, what's his name?
Louis Spark, yeah.
Yeah. That shows occultists walking alongside, I think, two word bearers or like...
yeah, they're word bearers.
Yeah. And like off in space, they're in the warp, you see demons mocking them as they walk. So even a Chaos Space Marine gets mocked by demons. You can only imagine how like they don't really have control over that.
Yeah, and they're also like phasing in and out of existence. They're like going in and out of the walls and stuff like that. You think you see something that's not actually there. So yeah, the warp messes with you physically, mentally, psychically, I guess.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Next question.
This next one is by Paul Dorian. If the Tau can't make their own version of Astartes, could they raise their own from amongst the Guevesa population with stolen tech and gene seed? I mean, technically, yes, but I think the machinations of creating an actual Astarte is going to be too time-consuming, you're using too much resource to make what maybe one Astarte. Because when you look at it, Astartes aren't easy to create. You could have 1,000 aspirants and only one make it. So I don't think the Tau would risk 1,000 Guevesa, who are, the top of the line, physical conditioning, expert tacticians, and just, basically kill 99% of them to have one succeed.
Right. The Tau Empire is better off just creating a bunch of like really, good suits that are cheaper to make, faster, better than they are to trying to control Space Marines after they've gone through the indoctrination process. Which that in and of itself, that means that you would need at some point a librarian.
Yeah. Psycho indoctrination.
Yeah. You can't.
Yeah, it's too much. And the Tau don't really think about it like that, where the Imperium has billions upon trillions of like just people to pour into it. The Tau are relatively small in space and population too.
Yeah.
So they don't have that many Guevesa to pull from.
Yeah. But those were the questions for today. If you have more questions for us, comment down below.
And for more questions being asked, keep them coming. As always, it's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gershwin.
And we are out.
Oh, I did the